Hi, I'm attorney Jordan Bentley with McIntyre Elder Law, and I want to talk a little bit about trusts. So, whether you've heard of a pet trust, a land trust, or a family trust, there really are two types of trusts. They all break down into two categories, either revocable or irrevocable. So, what's the difference and what are the advantages of those two types of trusts? Well, a revocable or a living trust is a trust where you created, or you and your spouse, if it's a family trust, you act as the trustee, you control the trust, you control the assets in the trust, and you're responsible for managing the trust. The benefits of having a revocable trust are that when you pass away, anything in your trust doesn't have to go through probate. It'll pass automatically from the trust to the beneficiaries that you've chosen, the way that you've chosen it to go. And you can have a little more control of how those assets are used and how the beneficiaries get them in a trust. We like to use the phrase dead hand control, which is a little crude, but it makes sense. So you can juxtapose a revocable trust with an irrevocable trust, and that's a trust where you appoint anyone else in the world other than you and your spouse to serve as the trustee, right? Your hands are off, you don't have control of those assets, but the trustee has to do what the trust says and follow the distributions. While you're alive, you're the lifetime beneficiary of that trust. The money and the assets can be used for your benefit, but when you pass away, the trustee then makes sure that those assets not only avoid probate, right, but are passed to who you want to. Now, you might be asking, why an irrevocable trust? Why would I give up control? Why would I want someone else managing or being the trustee of my trust? Well, with an irrevocable trust, the assets are out of your name. You might want to do that for benefits planning or for liability purposes. If you're trying to get on something like long-term care Medicaid or special assistance, it's important that you're underneath the asset limit for those things. And so you may want to have an irrevocable trust to hold the assets and hold title to them to avoid yourself being penalized for having too much to qualify for a government benefit to pay for something like long-term care. So two types of trusts. And a lot of people want the advantages of both, right? They want control while they're alive. They want to avoid probate if they pass away. But they know that long-term care and a nursing home or assisted living is down the road. 70% of us, right, will need some type of long-term care. So we draft frequently what we call a convertible trust. So I said there's two kinds, but there's really two and a half. The convertible trust is the trust that we draft that starts as revocable. And then there's a couple different clauses in there that would trigger it to become irrevocable if you lose capacity, if you're deemed in need of indefinite long-term care, or if you're incompetent. Or, you can sign an amendment saying, hey, I think it's time. I think I want to go ahead and switch this trust, make it irrevocable, and go ahead and start trying to qualify for something like long-term care Medicaid. So if you think a trust is right for you, if you think you have the assets and the beneficiaries and the desired distribution, right, you want to control how your assets are used and who gets them a little bit more than you would if you leave them in a will. Or if you're interested in applying for some type of government benefit, getting the assets out of your name to do that. Or if you just want, to avoid probate and make sure that happens, give us a call, 888-999-6600, or go online at mcelderlaw.com/scheduling, and we'll sit down and talk to you about your trust.